What dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, I've gotten asked a lot about farming Zariman resources and rep and all that in Arcanes, so I thought we'd just do a refresher video on the current strat I use for farming Zariman stuff. So that's mostly going to be Void Quills, Void Angel stuff, Arcanes, and a little bit of Entrati Lanthorns along the way. This is going to be a team-focused strategy today, although you technically can do what I'm doing in this video solo. It was definitely recommended to use a team for this. If you do use a team, you will be getting a lot more rep per minute, because dividing and conquering with the quality of life changes they made to these Void Pinions is actually really, really effective. So we're going to go over all the gear today, and we're going to do a quick overview of the strategy. So we'll also be streaming live tonight on Twitch. We'll be doing some Steel Path, Void Cascade, farming some of these Arcanes as well, so come and stop by. So, the idea of the way to get this rep really fast is, and we actually lucked out right here. You're looking for this exact bounty right here, Wake and Banish. So, the reason Wake and Banish is so good is because you can get this done in under 2 minutes with a good team, and also get all the rewards in those 2 minutes. So, the idea of this is it's an exterminate mission bounty that's going to require you to kill the Awaken and defeat the Void Angel to defeat it. So this is definitely going to be a gear check. If you don't have a good amp and stuff, I'm going to show you what amp I'm going to recommend to you. Also notice, in 6 minutes, this bounty will rotate. So it might not be Wake and Banish. It might become some other thing. Thankfully, though, this Wake and Banish Exterminate bounty can be on any of these tiers, including Tier 4 and Tier 5. I'd recommend not to do it if it's like Tier 2 or Tier 1, even though you will still get a decent amount of rep. It's more about the Tier 5 and Tier 4 stuff, giving you those extra Void Quills just for completing it. So, we showed you what we're going to be doing. We're looking for this specific bounty. Let's take a look at how this strategy will go down. Now, I'm going to recommend you have one dedicated Void Angel killing player. That will preferably be the player with the best amp and operator gear. I'm going to show you what operator gear I recommend here. But let's just quickly show how this works. So, I was a designated Void Angel killer in our squad, and the other teammates are going to be actually doing the normal exterminate and finding the additional Void Quills and Pinions hidden throughout the map. So whatever you bring, it doesn't really matter. The main weapons you want is the Glaive Prime, and you're actually going to be wanting to use Garuda Prime for the loadout I'm using. Garuda Prime is not important here, but she's very tanky, does a lot of damage, and I've got a full Archon Shard build on her, so that's what I'm going to be showing right now. Alright, so we're all going to load into the mission. It doesn't really matter what frames my teammates play. Zaku or Volt could be good just for making us go through the map faster, but as soon as you spawn in, try to have, preferably everyone on the team has the Parallax landing craft, which actually does drop from Zariman, so you'll probably get it eventually while you're farming for this. But the designated Void Angel killer should rush the Void Angel. For Wake and Banish, the Void Angel is actually marked with a yellow icon, so it's super straightforward. But yeah, if you are the designated Void Angel killer, just run ahead. Don't worry about the normal trash ads. You can kill a Thrax if you see it, because Thrax can drop Arcanes. But yeah, your entire purpose is just go over here and kill this thing solo. If your teammates get here by the time that you're not done with it, like, you are killing it too slowly. So Glaive Prime with a heavy attack build. You can even throw on Elite on Call. Keep in mind, Elite on Call will not shoot the Void Angel till the second health bar for some reason. But yeah, you should be able to handle it pretty simply yourself. So jump in there. Now, Void Strike is going to be required for this. Just one Void Strike, it's one bullet. I'll show you what all this gear is after this. That's a level 92 Void Angel. They can go higher level, but you can still solo the level 5 Void Angel too. The second phase will be a little bit more sketchy. It's going to require you to be using Matarai's second ability with specific operator Arcanes. So the second ability is called Contamination Wave. Spam it all the way so you get your entire energy bar depleted. That will proc an operator Arcane, giving you big crit chance. And as long as you start attacking when the angel's stuck in its attack animation, you can DPS it from full health solo with the amps and stuff I'm showing you today. With no like Rivens or anything, obviously. There's no Rivens for amps, but yeah. So Void Angel's dead. I probably killed it in like, I don't know, under a minute. And the nice thing is, now that they've changed the quality of life for these Void Pinions, I can just pick up that Void Angel's pinion, and then my teammates automatically get it. So, as long as there's not an Arcane dropping from the Angel, we're good to go. My teammates can pick up the other stuff, and using the Parallax landing craft will mark them on the map, those little tiny Void Pinions. So, the more people that have that, the better. See, I just used it right there. Now you'll see the entire area is marked with collectibles. There, right there. I'm not going to go pick those up. Actually, I think I go pick this one up in a tree. So that will help you. Those are like a good couple hundred, an extra 1,000 rep each. So that's what you're going to be looking for. Your teammates, Zaku's 4th ability with really high range will help you get Entrati Lanthorns from random like drops in the environment. But yeah, so everyone pick these up. As soon as you're done, though, you have to like understand what you're trying to do here. We're trying to complete the mission as fast as possible. So once the Void Angel is dead, everything else is kind of like second priority. Make sure you kill the normal enemies to complete the mission. But then after it's done, everyone should head to the portal, no matter if you see a Void Pinion. If there's a Void Pinion right in front of your face, go grab it. But yeah, we're trying to get out of here, so because you get 4 of these Void Quills for completing the mission in the first place. So that's the idea. Now, doing the non-bounty version will be a lot less rep per minute. But let's quickly show how some builds for this are going to work. Actually, when I say some builds, I'm going to show you the entire gear loadout I used to kill that Void Angel near instantly. Now, the Archon shards probably did help a little bit, and I did finally get a Tau Forged Archon shard. I used it for melee crit damage on my Garuda, giving me increased crit damage with the Glaive Prime, with her claws, if I'm using like the Stropha or something. So a really, really good one right there. She doesn't need too much power strength, although power strength would help to make me run faster with Molt. The other stuff is just casting speed. So a big part about the big damage I'm doing is replacing natural talent on my build with Vigorous Swap. That's if you watch my main Garuda build video from like a month ago, I was asking you guys what you thought I should replace natural talent with when they get shards, and Vigorous Swap has been working really well, giving increased damage. So basically, I'll run up to the Void Angel, and then I'll just have my Tonkor out, but then as soon as it's damageable, I'll switch to the Glaive, I'll have my Vigorous Swap buff, and it will make a ridiculously large slash proc. Now, I might have a Riven on here. If you don't have a Riven, you could just put on like a Toxin mod, honestly. It should be totally fine. It will be less damage for sure, but if you're using Vigorous Swap and like everything else I've got in here, you will be able to one-shot the Void Angel with a couple ticks of that slash proc. So yeah, the entire idea of this is, blow up the heavy glaive mid-air to do big damage. If your glaive is not doing big damage, you're probably pushing the wrong button. There is a special heavy attack detonation button that you need to push while the glaive is mid-air. And if you're using a pistol at the same time, like let's say you're using like the Epitaph, which lets you dual wield with the glaive, the heavy attack detonation button might become different, okay? So keep that in mind if you're dual wielding with the glaive. But yeah, this is our main DPS weapon right here. If you're only killing the Void Angel, this is honestly all you really need is this and then the Garuda, because Garuda's passive will give you a massive damage buff as you're dealing damage and all that. We're using Molt. I'm going to just link the Molt Garuda video down below. But yeah, this is really, really good with our healing arcanes we're using, specifically Molt Reconstruct. Every time we cast Molt, or any ability for that matter, we get a bunch of health back. Arcane Agility, when we're damaged, we'll move faster. Honestly, this one's flexible as well. You can put, if you don't have a Riven for the glaive, you can maybe put on, like, I think it's called Arcane Fury. On critical hit, increase melee damage. There you go. Just use that if you don't have a Riven for the glaive, and you'll be able to one-shot the Void Angel, no problem. As far as everything else, we've got Matarai. This is a must-have for what we're doing. The big thing here is Void Strike. You push that button once you go into the Void Angel realm, and you will one-shot that Void Angel with one bullet from your amp. The other ability is going to be Contamination Wave, like I said. It makes the Void Angel take more Void damage, but you're just using it to deplete your entire energy bar for Operator Arcanes. Speaking of Operator Arcanes, let's go over those. The companion, by the way, the command does not matter at all. I'm just using the Panzer Cat because it never dies. Well, when it dies, it comes back. Let's go over the Operator gear here. And as far as the landing craft, it is the Parallax. Keep in mind, you can equip the Parallax ability on other landing crafts. That's a thing they made, a change they made. So you don't have to use just the Parallax, but use the Parallax ability. So as far as Operator Arcanes and Amps, we've got the 177 Amps. So that's going to be parts Replock, Prism, Certus Brace, and Propa Scaffold. We're not really using the Propa for what we're doing right here, but the Replock is really good for, basically sniper shots. Our crit chance on this amp is 58%, and we are using both Eternal Eradicate and Eternal Onslaught. These do both come from Zariman, but they are really, really good. So, and this one specifically, Eternal Onslaught on energy depletion, 180% increased crit chance for 8 seconds. That's going to work really well with either Void Strike for the first DPS phase, or Contamination Wave spam on the second DPS phase. So you will have this big Operator crit chance increase all the time. And for Eternal Eradicate on Operator ability, increased damage for amps for 8 seconds. That's going to always be procced as well. You're going to be shooting the Void Angel for a good 5 seconds, as long as you're hitting headshots. By the way, go for headshots on that guy. Magus Lockdown and Magus Anomaly are literally equipped for other missions, so whatever you want to equip in these slots are great. Some people like Magus Melt, but if you're using Void Strike and Contamination Wave with the amp I showed you, you do not need this. But yeah, if you want to, go for it. And as far as other stuff, I'm going to quickly just show you the Parallax in case you don't know what it does. But yeah, the rest of the stuff is really up to personal preference, guys. And like I said, you can play other frames besides Garuda. Actually, while we're here, I believe the bounty did rotate. Let me go and show you. Keeping an eye out for a good bounty. There might be an exterminate pops up. The big thing about these exterminates, guys, is the bonus objective. Okay, so we got actually... Okay, no, it's not a god roll. It's Wake and Banish, but it's a mobile defense. Now, you technically could do this, but it's going to be much, much slower than the exterminate version. Now, see, we got a level 2 exterminate. Pick up the golden key and take it to the Melika. You might like doing that, but for farming Void Angels and all that stuff at the same time, you want something like Wake and Banish for exterminate. I would love if this was on exterminate right now, but it's mobile defense, so... Alright, we're going to go and just look at the parallax real quick, and we're going to call it a video. If you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to run, let me know. I definitely think this is my favorite loadout. Of course, running like a Volt or a Wisp would be faster. We've got Molt Garuda to run really fast, too. So, as far as the parallax, the way you equip it is that you go to Equipment, you go to Orbiter, Landing Craft. So this is where you can custom. I just dropped my phone. You can customize what abilities and landing craft you have. So this is the ability of the parallax, but I'm using it on the scimitar because I think the scimitar looks cooler. The funny thing is the parallax Oricani, it's going to mark collectibles and void pinions on the map. These other ones are just all terrible comparatively. So it's like the only landing craft ability for me nowadays, and like you can just equip whatever ship you feel like because I don't want a tiny little ship like that. I want the scimitar. All right, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. It's really nice. I actually do farm these Void Pinions a lot. And, you can just do it with 2 people. Honestly, as long as you just have one person stole the Void Angel, the other guy can be doing the normal exterminate. And if he wants to pick up some extra quills, sure. Extra quills is going to give you a couple thousand extra rep per bounty, which is going to really add up over time, especially if you don't have much time to game. So... not to mention, of course, this can technically drop Aya from the bounty. It's a 12% drop rate, but you can also get 4,000 Endo from some of those as well, which I consider better than Aya in some situations. All right, guys, take it easy. Peace.